Hello, Ezemy one, and welcome back to Rat Run. I'm your usual everyday time-puzzling rat girl, Ezemy Jika, and today I'll be solving Rat Run 9, Shock Value. Experiment 9, Crimson, July 31st of July, 1974. In the Crimson Maze, we introduced cages to test Sphinx's performance when faced with hazards. Despite Elliot finding it amusing to call them killer cages, I keep reminding myself that the voltage is nowhere near high enough. Ew. This sounds like an electrifying test nonetheless. Rules. Normal 9 by 9 Sudoku rules. Aim of the experiment. Rat to cupcake. 2 by 2 areas. We know all that already. Teleports. Entering a yellow teleport will cause Sphinx to instantly be transported to the other teleports. The teleports contain the same digit. In this puzzle, we only have one set of teleporters, so no dealing with multiple different digits, I guess. Black currents. Digits connected by a black current are in a 1 to 2 ratio. One is double the other. Cages. Digits don't repeat in a cage. Every cage has the same total, which is to be deduced. I suppose I'll write that down when it comes down to it. The digit on a cage's electricity symbol is its shock value. Any cage with a shock value of 5 or more is switched on, and Sphinx should not enter those for safety reasons. Ouch. Cages with a shock value lower than 5 are switched off and are therefore safe to enter. So, yeah, these cages, they're kind of big, but all of the ones that are in our direct path should hopefully be switched off. Test constraint. In this experiment, the correct path will be a valid Chinese whisper line, i.e. adjacent digits along the path must differ by at most 2. So it is a sort of the opposite of a German whisper line. So it doesn't require that much explaining, but I'm going to go over the basic idea of it nonetheless. So it's sort of an adjacent plus sort of line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 can go to 2 and 3. 2 can go to 3 and 4. 3 can go to 4 and 5, and so on and so forth. So they differ by at most 2, meaning they have to be close but not strictly adjacent. And that could be a problem if we're going from a very low digit to a very high digit, because we would have to step through all of the other odd digits first. So I know that's rather incomplete, but let's just leave it for now. And with the rules out of the way, let's just get started. So let's do green today. The cages all have the same sum. That's where we start. And we have cages of size 2 and cages of size 5. So it has to be a sum between, as you can, well, yes, you can see it this time, between 11, the minimum for, no. Because digits cannot repeat in a cage, right? Yeah, digits don't repeat in a cage. So the digits 1 to 5 add up to 15. So it's between 15 and 17, which is the maximum for a 2-cell cage, 8 and 9. So it's either 15, 16, or 17. And either way, this digit, because if this is the smallest, it's 15, which means this would have to be 6 at this digit is at least 6. So the path cannot go through there. I guess we can mark these 6, 7, 8, 9. And 17 and 5 cells, I think there's a couple different ways to do that. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. There's a couple different ways to do it. And in 3 cells or 4 cells, there's a whole bunch of different ways. But this cell has to be less than 5. So it has to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. And because of the Chinese whisper constraint, this digit is at most 6 because it's 4. This one's at most 4, this one's at most 6, and this one's at most 8. So that's 18. So even if we, well, actually, now that I think about it, if we minimize it, this would be 1, 3, and 5 at most, which is 9, which is not enough. So this can't be 1. And if we increase this by 1, every digit would only increase by 1. So 1, 3, and 5 make 9. 2, if we increase this to 2, each of these increases by 1, so we just add 3 to 9, and we get 12, which is also not enough. So this needs to be at least 3, because that would be 3, 5, and 7, which add up to 15. In fact, it does look like we're going to have to try and maximize this to some degree to make it between 15 and 17. And have this value be low enough that it's possible to cross. So we've already determined that 2-cell cages are impossible to pass through. So wherever the path goes, it can't go through this area. It might not be able to go through this cell either, but we don't know for sure. Well, I guess the first thing to prove would be that it can't go through this cage. But I think to do that, we first need to actually know the total. This chain has to be, because there's no modifiers, it has to be 2, 4, 8, and it has to contain a 2 and a 4. I don't think these can go down. Right, because 7, whoops, 7, not, wait, 3, 5, 7 is the minimum for this to work, because 3, 5, 7 adds up to 15, which is the absolute minimum for it to be. So this would have to be 6 and 8. And actually, I don't think this can be 8, because if it's 8, 6, and 4, that adds up to 18, which is more than our maximum. So this has to be a 7. It could be 7, 6, 4, which adds up to 17. It could be 7, 5, 4, which is 16, and it could be 7, 5, 3. Well, taking a 7 out of these two cells, the totals are 14, 15, and 17. So it can't be 16 anymore. Yeah, 16 has been taken out. So what total was 16? It was 754. 754. I think that means it needs to be 64 or 35. 764 would be 15, and this would be 8, 9. 753 would be 15, and this would be 6, 8. So those are both fine, actually. Well, this has to be within 2 of 7. So it has to be 5, 6, or 8, 9. This has to be within 2 of 3 or 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, well, it can't be 5. That's pretty much all we can deduce from that. From the Kropke dot. Why is this so difficult? Well, I guess this is also 6, 7, 8, 9. If it's 15, this could still be 7, 8, and this could be 6, 9. Every cage has the same value. Wait a second. These 6 digits, it can't be 15 because these 6 digits, are all different. It has to contain a 6. One of these cages has to contain a digit that's at least 6. So the sum cannot be 15. Because that would mean we would minimize both of these cages at the same time, which is impossible because one of them needs to contain a 6. Or at least a 6. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 21. And then these could be 1, 2, 3, which is 6, which is 27. And then 28. Wait, no, that doesn't work. Because these would have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, because we would already have 1, 2, and 3 down here. We can have 2 copies of every... Because we have 2 cages, we can have at most 2 copies of any given digit. So these would be 1 through 6, and then we have extra copies of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that would be 10 plus... Um, 21, that's 31. So bump that up, round that up to make it even, 32, so that's 16. Yeah, the minimum is 16, so this is 16 or 17. We know it's not 16, and we know it can't be 15, so it has to be 17. So we have to maximize this, I believe. The sum is 17. Let me write that down. Okay, so if we know this sum is 17, uh, let's just... Now this sum is 17. Then in 2 cells, it can be 8, 9. In 3 cells, there's actually quite a few different things it can be. Um, well, in 5 cells, it has to be 2 different combinations, right? Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Pretty sure those are actually the only 2 combinations. Huh. Well, there's all sorts of combinations that work with 3 or 4, and I won't bother writing them all down because there's too many. And I don't feel like writing down a bunch of combinations of numbers. Okay, so 7, 6, and 4. This has to be 5. This can't be 4 or 8 because we have 8 there already, so these are 1, 2, and 3. This is 1, then this is 2. That breaks this. So this has to be 2, 4, and 8. 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 4, 6. Oh, right. The Chinese whisper. So this has to be within 2. So this one, right. This can't be 3, 6 because the difference is too great. So it has to be 2, 2, 1, or 2, 4. This digit, it has to be within... it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be 5 or 6. Which means this has to be 4. What are these digits left? Oh, we've already used 1 through 5. Or 1 through 4. So this is going to have to be greater than 5. So that means this cage cannot be entered. Because that would make things way too easy. So we have to go through here. We can't go directly to there. So we're going to have to touch at least one of these 2 cells. Go down through here. Go through one of these 3 corridors. Go down here. Maybe go through here. Maybe go through the teleporter. Then wrap around through here. And then go all the way up there. Instead of just going straight through this cage. Wow. Way to make things more difficult. Alas, that is simply how it is. There can't be a 5 here, so there has to be a 6 down here, which connects to the 8 anyways, so there might be a 7, but there doesn't have to be. 8. This can't be a 5. This has to be within 2 of 6, 7, or 9. It can't be 4 or 5, so it's going to have to, again, be 6, 7, or 9. This one is kind of the similar situation, except it can't be... It has to be 5 or 9. Interesting. This one can't be a 9 because of this 8, 9 pair here, and it can't be a 6 either. None of these can be 6. So that's 7. That's 9. That's 5. These 4 digits are 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah. So these are 2 and these are 1 and 3. These are 2 and 6. These 2 digits are, let's see, 1 and 3. So that's 4, which means this needs to add up to 13, which is 6 and 7. And so this 5 has to connect to a 3. This 4 has to connect to the 2. These 2 digits are 8, 9. If this digit is a 9, then the path cannot go through this corridor, because 9 can only connect to 7 and connect to 5, which would make this a dangerous cage. So, but if it's an 8, it could go 8, 6, 4, which would be fine. I guess now we gotta decide what of these 3 cages the path goes through. That's 17, right? Yes. Well, instead of seeing what these digits have to be, maybe it could be easier to see what these have to be. Because these digits have to add up to 17, which means that the rest of them have to add up to 45 minus 17, 20, 25, 20, 28? Yes, they have to add up to 28. And these are 21, which means these have to add up to 7. And they have to not include digits seen by this. So 7 can be made by 1, 6. It can be made by 2, 5, which won't work, or 3, 4. And then these 4 digits will just be whatever's left over. So they do have to contain a 2 and an 8. Right. And the 2 and the 8 make the 10, and whatever pair is left out of this make up the remaining 7. Let's see, if it's 2, 3, 4, 8, then this would be fine. If it's 1, 2, 6, 8, then this would be a 1, 2. Oh, here we go. These are 7, 8, 9. No, they're not. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. Okay, so one of these has to contain a 7, actually, which I guess we had deduced already. So these have to be 6, 8, 9, which means we cannot pass through here, which means we have to go into the teleporter. Which means these digits have to be 3 and 4. They can't be 1 and 6 because that's too far apart. So these are 1, 2, 6, and 8. These have to be the 1 and the 2, and these are the 6 and the 8. And 5 cannot connect to 1 or 2, so it has to go to here. It has to go through, even though this cage would be safe, the 5 can't connect to it, so it has to be one of these 2 cages. Which means the path has to come out to here, which is, this has to be 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. These are 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. So that's 22. And then these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we're leaving out the 6. That doesn't sound quite right. leave out 6, 8, 9. That makes this... Yeah, this would be 22. These would have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? No, no, we're not adding up to 32. We're adding up to 34. So these would have to add up to 22 plus 12. That would have to be 12, which would be 1, 2, 3, and 6. Yeah. So this can't be 1 or 6. So this has to be the 2. Um, so there has to be a 2 down here. So this has to be 1 or 4. Well, that's a 4 then. Okay. There has to be a 7 down here somewhere. And this one has to contain the 6. So this one has to contain the 7. So with the 7, the one that contains the 7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So we have 1, 1, 3, and 7 are missing. Oh, so that one's the 1. That's a 3. And these ones are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So that's 1, 2, and 5, which I guess I could have gotten from the box anyways. That's 8 and 6. Well, this can't be 8 or 8, 9. This has to contain a 6. So that would be 11. So this has to be 2 or 3, which means this has to be 1, 6, or 4. Well, it can't be 4, and it can't be 6. It has to be 1, 2. That's a 5. These two are... to make 17, these would have to add up to 15, which means it's 6 and 9. Putting an 8 here. Right. This has to be 8 and 9 in that order. 6 and 2 puts the path here. This is a 5. These two digits are... Or, yeah, they contain 8, 9, but they're 1, 2, 5, 8, 9. And they can't be 8 or 9 because they have to connect to this 3 and 3, 4. So that's 5, 9, 8, 9. These two digits are 7, 8. Whoops. And the only digit this 5 can connect to is this 7. And it has to pass through the 6. And 6 can only connect to this 4. Yeah, it can't touch this cage at all. So it has to go straight into the 6, the 4. Alright, this is a 6. So these two digits are, what, 1 and 7? Yes. Whoops. 3 and 7. So that puts 4s here. Whoops. And 3s here. 2 and a 1 there. This is an interesting solve. It's kind of going all over the place. Like, we solved this middle part, but we haven't finished the path on either side yet. So we can't touch this cage. But the two big cages are both safe. Let's see. These three digits are 7, 8, 9. Well, that one's the 8. And this 5 can only touch the 7. So whichever path is taken, it has to be the one with the 7. So these digits are 4, 6, 7, 9. And in order to make 17, it has to be 4, 6, 7. So that's the 9. That's the 6. And this one's the 7. So the path has to go through this way. Hopefully these digits add up to 17. And they are 3, 5, and 9. They do add up to 17, but they're dangerous. Okay, the path doesn't go through here, actually. It goes through this way. And then just bounces over to this 7 here. So this has to be the 4 to make this cage safe. 4, 6, 7, 9, 7, 5, 3, 4. That's all fine. These two digits are 6 and 7. These are, whoops, let's see, 2, 3, and 5. These are 3, 4, and 5. These are 1, 2, 5. We don't have any 5s, huh? These are 1, 2, 4. These two are 8, 9. Okay. Hmm. Well, the path can't go through there. It can't go up here because there's no way out. It can't connect to that or that. It has to connect to the 2 in one of these two cells. And then the 2 could connect to the 3, 5, 7 here, or it could just go straight to the 3. Wait, no. The 3 and the 6 is not a valid connection. So it has to go through the 2 and then a 3, 5, 7. And then this can't be a connection because 4 and 8 are too far apart, so it has to come up through here. So one of these has to sum to 17, and I guess it's based on this going to be the minimum, right? So it's 6, 2, 4, 2? No, that's not possible. 6, 2, 4, 5, because this is a 2, 5 pair in this column now. So that's the 4. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus, yeah, that has to be 6. So that's that done, and this is 2, 3, 5, and 7. So these both add up to 7 already, or 17 already. But there has to be something. Oh, the 7, if the path, well, if the path goes through here, the 7 would need to connect to a 5, which would make this dangerous. And if it doesn't connect, then the path can't go through this way anyways. So the path has to go through this direction. This has to be the 5, the 2, the 3, 8, and 9. 2 and 5. The 4 connects directly to this 2. And I think that's the full path. 3, 5, 8, 9. Hooray! No active cages entered. Whew. My concerns about the ethics of this experiment were perhaps a little unwarranted. Finks remained as focused and determined as ever. If anything, she appeared to relish the challenge of determining which cages were safer to enter. I now feel much more at ease about how she'll cope with next week's sensory deprivation experiments. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting solve determining which ones were safe and which ones were able to pass through because of the other constraint. Like this little zigzag here. That's fun. Alright, until next time with experiment 10 censored. もうその時間でしょおやすみ